into male and female autism. Why is this? Because male autism means we're violent, and female autism means we need to feel sorry for them. Being born with a penis means you're evil. Being born with a vagina makes you Saint fuck it all, right? No. To every single one of you autistic women out there, every one of you, most of you are not autistic. You went and got a diagnosis when you hit the fucking wall. Most women don't get diagnosed with autism until their drug days are over. When the free drugs and free alcohol stop coming in, she's magically autistic because she has no useful fucking skills. Not a goddamn one. All she knows how to do is flash her pussy at people to get fucking attention. Oh, there's those of you who say, oh, I didn't have to flash my pussy. He did it on his own. No. Do not play stupid, dumbass. Don't pull the whole, oh, I didn't bat my eyes. Are you fucking stupid? Of course you are. Are females with autism speaking up about any of the unique challenges that men have? Like, oh yeah, we're men, so we can't be autistic. It's not some magic we get away with whatever we want because we're autistic. No, we're men first, aren't we? We're assumed to be guilty because we're still men. We're assumed to be stupid or retarded or unreasonable. It's not unreasonable for me to want to be treated like a human being. If I was a pretty white girl, I wouldn't have had to jump through any of these hoops. All I would have had to do is paint on a little bit of makeup and smile. Or maybe throw on the tears a little bit. If a girl cries, we're supposed to drop everything and believe everything she says is true. We have taught literally every single girl in America to fake cry. Every one of them. There is not a woman in America who does not know how to fake cry. Not a single one. Whether she's autistic or not. Meanwhile, we have women who are drug addicts, not autistic people. Drug addicts. Pretending that they're autistic. Because they think it'll get them sympathy. No, it only gets them sympathy because they're, well, not a man. We're supposed to feel sorry for girls who are different. Whereas a boy is supposed to magic it all away. Boys have more opportunities than girls have had. No, that's fucking bullshit. I don't know a single man who gets to be a full-time student at any college in America. Sorry, a professional student. No matter what we give women, it's not enough. Meanwhile, we're the ones giving. We give our time and actual effort. Women do not expend that on us. We're expected to feel sorry for anything with tits. No matter how fucking twisted of a druggy cunt that she chooses to be. We've got male autism advocates who are shooting all of us in the foot by making special reparations for women. No, fuck you, dude. You're fucking over everybody who's actually autistic. Everyone. Every time you take one of these druggy whores and you pretend that they're autistic and we should feel sorry for them, no, they are taking away from us. Hey, let's ignore how autistic males are treated, because women are more important. Let's ignore how many times a woman beats on her husband before he gets arrested. Autism for men isn't the same thing as it is for women. Women are taught any excuse, any advantage. Men are taught man up, do it yourself. Women are taught go slander him to all of his friends and family and your friends and family and hope one of them does something evil to him. Oh, it's not your fault. Oh, I didn't make them do that. The thing is, for a man who's disabled, you abuse him for being fucking disabled. And then you tell him he needs to go to the back of the bus because there's a bunch of druggy whores who want to pretend they're autistic. A bunch of druggy whores like Danica O'Shell Garner. The thing is, I literally never had a real friend in my entire life. Ever. People were my friend because I was nice to them. Because when they needed help, they didn't have to beg me for 6 fucking years. What do I deal with? You treat me like I'm a fucking emotionless psychopath who's out to kill everybody. You're pieces of shit. Every goddamn one of you. And then there's the Christian community. This is the most disgusting community in America. The most hateful bigots in this country are a part of the Christian community. Because they're the only group of people in America stupid enough to believe these druggy whores. The rest of us are just taught that we're supposed to. Because if we don't, judgmental Christians will hurt us. And they do. Let me tell you how much respect I have for Americans. None. There's all these idiots whining on Facebook, not doing anything but whining. I say, hey, let's work together and do something about it. Oh, Sean, we can't do anything. We can't do anything. You have lost before you got started. Before you come up and tell me about giving it to Jesus, you come correct. You want to pretend that Jesus saying that people are going to die is the same thing as saying that he wants you to go kill them. Jesus never once, through the entire book, not once ever, did Jesus ever say to kill anyone. So every single Christian I know, every one of them, contribute to the problem and not the solution. You want to shove Jesus into our schools? The Baptist Jesus or the Lutheran Jesus? Well, right now we got Baptists killing Lutherans and Lutherans killing. Neither one of those two, they worship war, not Jesus. Go fuck yourselves. All of you. There is nothing good about you. I see the men that you reward and what you consider a reward. Oh, if you give up the vagina, that's a good enough reward, right? For the good looking men or the ones with money. What about the rest of us? The 90% of men that you aren't willing to date. The 90% of us who bust our asses and don't get shit until you need someone that you can manipulate and mooch off of because, well, you're no longer attractive. You just hit the fucking wall. Here's the thing. You get to 30, 35 years of age, your parts start to sag, you're not as pretty as you used to be. Now you're in competition with 16-year-olds for attention. What the fuck is wrong with you? Those of you who just whine on Facebook, big difference between whining on Facebook and doing something about it. What did my friends do? They told me things that they didn't tell the police, they didn't tell the public. They didn't even try. Now, why didn't they fucking try? Because they're all fucking cowards. They're all useless pieces of shit, and especially the women in these situations. If a woman does it, it's magically okay, isn't it? I'm disgusted by the planet that I live on. It's not the planet that's the problem, it's the people in it. Men, most of you spend your entire lives trying to impress pretty girlies. You give up your entire life, you spend all of that money and all of those resources trying to impress her. Well, all you've done is show that you've got resources to burn. Yeah, she might give you a chance until those resources are fucking gone. And then she'll throw tantrums at you because no matter what, everything that you do is not good enough. You get a better job so you can pay for all the shit that she wants. She complains that you're not there enough. Meanwhile, you come home and it smells like sex. You spend all that time away working, and then, of course, it's your fault that she's not happy because you're not home enough. Then when you're home enough, she's not happy because you're not making enough money. Then you go make enough money and she's unhappy that you're not home enough. Meanwhile, when you're home, all she does is fucking nag at you and bitch at you and fucking whine and moan and complain, and she needs this and she needs that. My mom, she wanted cocaine. She wanted pretty things. This is what she spent my stepdad's money on. Now my stepdad is an idiot. His name is Michael Scott Wade. I like him better than I like my dad. I like my stepmom better than I like my mom. Then again, my stepdad liked to blame me for things that he did, whereas my stepmom did not do that. My stepmom did not go blaming me for things that she did. Now, as I see these people worldwide who are autistic, one trait of high-functioning autistic people is the need for death. The need for it. You are not going to stop punishing us for being born different. You know, they can give black people pills to make them white. Did you know that? Melanin blockers. We can also give people pills that'll make them darker. That's right. I was born with autism and I was born with Tourette's. But without a friend or family member there who's aware of what that actually fucking means, I get treated like I'm a fucking druggie. You fucking pieces of shit. See, a man is on his own. He's on his own. If he's intelligent, then magically his disabilities don't exist. You guys listen to Autism Speaks. We need to sue the fuck out of Autism Speaks. These people are killing us with their ignorance and their fucking rhetoric. And then we got child molesting Christians like Mark Richmond who think that autistic people don't have any emotions. This is a guy who fucked his own daughter, for Christ's sake. Then he plays Christian. The little girl that he raped is a grown adult now. She's not a part of the family. But Mark Richmond is. Where did I meet Mark Richmond? I met him in church. When I first moved to Chapel, Nebraska, I went to Pumpkin Pantry and there were two guys there talking about how they were in the KKK. I got to the Chapel Assembly of God, and them two KKK members were the ushers. These were the two ushers at the church. Sorry, one of them was an usher and the other one was a greeter. What's a greeter do? You walk through the door at the church and they greet you. They say, "Hi, it's good to have you here." That's all bullshit. Mark Richmond was one of those, "Oh, I believe in God, I believe in God, I believe in God." That was 2015, by the way. I believe it was 2018 or 2019. Sorry, not 2019. It's the 2000s, so I'm used to saying 2000s. I moved there to Chapel, Nebraska in 1995. What happened to Mark Richmond? Well, I went to church with him and his ex-wife Rhonda, a guy named Todd Rust, who was Nikki and Brittany and Zach and Dakota and Dallas's stepdad. He went to church with us too. Now, both of these men showed themselves to not be real Christians. Is a real Christian going to go molesting his own daughter? Is that what a real Christian is going to do? You guys will accept him into the fold. That's horrible. When a disabled man has an issue, you ignore his disabilities and you focus on the fact that he's a man. And if he's a man, then he must be able to do it himself, and he also must be a rapist and a murderer and all sorts of other creepy shit. What we need to do is make a curfew for women. We need to make a curfew for women that starts at 6 o'clock. That curfew will allow men to go out in public without being manipulated, without being lied to such a degree. It will increase the chances of a man surviving the night because there's no women there starting drama. It will improve his chances of surviving the night, because she won't be allowed to assault him repeatedly in public, demasculating him, making him weak in the eyes of those around him. Demasculating a man is the same as saying that you want him to be harmed. You want him to be hurt. You wish bad things upon him. As long as women are trying to have all men harmed, it will be my recommendation that women have to go through the same thing. I believe that every woman in America should take a rape safety course. And I think that safety course should include her spending an entire week being treated the way that a rapist is treated, being treated the way that a child molester is treated, so that they know full well the consequences of them just slipping out some little white lie because they don't want to get in trouble, because they don't want people to think less of them while they tell us, oh, you shouldn't care what other people think. That's all you care about. Your entire lives as American women revolve around what? Competition. Competition with other women. I know a lot of men who are happily married. No, I don't. I know very few men who are happily married. And the ones who say, well, you know, the secret to a happy marriage is let her win. Let her win. So literally just give her whatever she wants. That's a happy marriage. Don't argue. She automatically wins just because she's female. She's not going to use reason or accountability in any of it. She's been taught not to. She's been taught that if she's in the wrong, she just goes around, slanders your name to all your friends and family and her friends and family. And when you're being harmed and being ignored and being blown off, then she goes, oh, well, look, he's having a trauma reaction. Obviously, he's a violent male. Down with the patriarchy. Women do not act grateful for our services. Just the words ain't good enough. You say thank you, and then you go right back to the dude that we rescued from, and you let him and his friends make our lives living hell. The things that you told us because you wanted to manipulate us into helping you. Now you're magically, that didn't happen. Well, it's a good thing I recorded it. It's a good thing I recorded so many women manipulating in such a way. Oh, we don't do that. Really? Let's go through on an individual basis and take a look. I found out that one of the youngins here, who's real nice, he was 17. I told him I wasn't comfortable around him because he was 17, but that I did like him. I like his personality, and he's free to come back and talk to me when he's an adult. And he follows that. He was also sexually assaulted by a Hispanic woman when he was 14. By the way, she lives in this town still. She served 6 hours. That's how long she served. How long would a man be in prison? How long would it take for them to release a man? You don't stop to consider that all of this gang stalking that every single woman in America is taught is okay for women. It's still illegal as fuck, but nobody cares because they're women. Women are not held accountable to the law. The law doesn't hold themselves accountable. It's just assumed that a man is guilty, and you get to see that expressed through the way that people treat me, or the I shouldn't have been there. You know what? If you don't want to get raped at a park at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, don't go to a park alone at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. And yeah, I give that same advice to a man. Is a man less likely to get raped out on the streets? Yes. Do men get raped out here on the streets? Yes. Do they get drugged and roofied? Yes. Not that anybody gives a fuck. This whole kill all men. You know what? Most of us just want to get the fuck away from you. You want us all to die because we want to get the fuck away from you? You are way more likely to be falsely accused by a woman for not doing what she says. Over 3 dozen of the women who got a hold of me over Natalie Bollinger's sites, over 3 dozen of them falsely accused their boyfriends of rape, child molestation, being into little boys, wearing girls' underwears. That's your go-to when you don't get what you want. And then you call him mentally ill. When you say mentally ill for a woman, we're supposed to feel sorry for her. When you say mentally ill for a man, what you mean is Jack the Ripper, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Kaczynski. When you say mentally ill for a man, you mean somebody like Mark Richmond. You mean someone like Scott DaCosta. You mean someone like Waylon Loatai. That's who you mean. But you project that onto all men, all men, all men. Most men are like me. Most men are like me. You get to see Chris here. He says he'll make time. He knows that I got to wait literally all day long to try to conserve gas, to try to make sure that I'm here, so that when he shows up, I can talk. But I don't get to talk. He won't shut the fuck up. Meanwhile, he will drop his shit at a moment's notice to go help a little girlie who's strung out on meth that he's got a crush on. It's not just men who are sexist against men, it's also women who are sexist against men. Most men are sexist. Most of us are sexist. We're sexist against other men. Our observations of how we're treated by women is exactly that. It's an observation. If a man walks in and his wife is getting banged by another dude, she's cheating on him. But not in her mind. In her mind, it's his fault. It's always somehow his fault. Oh, well, you're not spending enough time with me. Oh, we're not having enough sex. Well, it's hard to have sex with someone who's always got a fucking headache. So you've always got a headache. You don't want to have sex. Then fine, we won't have sex. But when it turns out you're screwing around with other people, it's not about sex. You're shopping for another penis to take care of you. Meanwhile, we got women wanting special accommodations just for autistic women. These accommodations are not being made for autistic men or anywhere near. There are more reparations and help for autistic women than there is for men. Did you know that? Did you know that there are literally no services in America, not a single one, that actually helps autistic people? Not one of them actually helps autistic people. They are geared only towards family living and easing the stresses for our predators, our families. The things that you like to associate with autism, a lot of women, when they do violent things, they go, oh, well, autism makes it okay for me to be violent. Look, it's in the description. Oh, well, I was only violent because I was stressed out. I was only violent because I was stressed out. I was only violent because, no, you were violent because you were fucked up on drugs and alcohol. Oh, I only hit him because I was afraid he was going to hit me. No, you hit him because you were taught it's okay. And then we've got women who want special treatment by pretending to be autistic when they hit the wall. I was born autistic, and I was born with Tourette syndrome. When you want to shove medications at me and pretend that'll fix it, no, it doesn't. It doesn't educate you assholes. We've got a bunch of male autism advocates that take a lot of time out to talk about the unique difficulties that women face. Like, women are high masking, so it's harder to tell if a woman's autistic. No, it's fucking not. No, it's not. It's not more difficult to tell if a woman is autistic. While men are told, oh, Sean, it's nearly impossible to diagnose an autistic person as an adult. No, it's not. The majority of autistic women did not get a diagnosis until they hit the fucking wall. For many of those women, they started off hitting the wall because they were not good looking. Because they were different. When they turned 18, they got their diagnosis right away when they turned 18. Because they had help. Because people felt sorry for them and wanted to help them because they're women. Whereas men, it's, how dare you cry? How dare you speak up when you are harmed? How dare you? Oh, we've got autistic women who aren't autistic. They have brain damage from doing too many fucking drugs and from thinking that they're going to be pretty and young forever and everything is just going to be handed to them. No. Eventually, those superficial men that you're preying on, well, they're still superficial. You're eventually going to get saggy and wrinkly. And he's still going to have options because there's a bunch of people just like you who are younger and prettier now because you're sagging. You are drooping. You are a candle that's melting. You've been left in the sun too long. When an autistic male is being harmed, you treat him like he's on drugs. When a druggy female is harming others and she gets busted, she pretends to be autistic. We also get to see very plainly and clearly that most of the autistic women that are diagnosed after the age of 18 are pretty. These are the pretty ones. Of course, a doctor's going to have no problems with signing over that she's autistic. She's a woman. We're expected to give it to her anyway. If you don't give it to her, she might sue. And because she's a woman, there's plenty of people that will help her out. But not a single autism place in the entire country actually does a goddamn thing for autistic people, because none of them care about autistic people. Most of these places are started by parents who wanted to be allowed to beat their children into submission. If you beat your children enough, their autism will go away, and you want the right to do this. And Autism Speaks is fighting for you to have this right. That you should be allowed to physically harm us for stimming, because you're embarrassed, because your kid is different than others. You're embarrassed. Well, fuck you, Brian Schwartz. Also, there's a young lady who got a diagnosis here in the United States at 18 years of age. She's not autistic, and she's also not a drug user. She's somebody who is one of those women who is not going to have the same opportunities as the good-looking women in this country. She will never have those opportunities. She is not that good-looking. But she's good-looking enough. She's good-looking enough to be heard. For a woman getting an autism diagnosis when she hits the wall is about like going down to the store and buying a loaf of bread. There are plenty of places that will help her to get that diagnosis because she's a woman. These aren't places that help autistic people. These are places that specifically help women. And with their recommendation, that woman gets an autism diagnosis. She runs around and does all of the things that she did before, and now she feels like she has free reign. This is just another excuse in her repertoire. Oh, well, it's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm autistic. No, it's not. You aren't treated badly for being a woman. You are treated badly because people want you to go the fuck away. Just like you want to do with all men. Even autistic men, and especially autistic men. When people harm an autistic male, you tell us the same thing you tell all other males. Oh, just ignore it. Just forget about it. Well, you just need to do it yourself. We're not allowed stupid shit. That's what the term mentally ill does. And every single one of you prey on that because all of you know it's true. Every one of you has people in your families that you prey on. And then you call them mentally ill as an insult. Oh, you're wrong because you're mentally ill. No, if you punch somebody in the face who's got Down syndrome, you still punched him in the face. Just because they have Down syndrome doesn't mean that they're too retarded to know what getting punched in the face is. Moral of the story, I wholeheartedly and fully support euthanasia of those of us with autism who are begging. We are begging for it. If you people help me to get to the Netherlands so that I can have myself put down, that would be greatly appreciated. If you could help me to get to the Netherlands so that I can have my life ended, so that I can end the pain, it doesn't matter how good a person I am. What matters is that I'm not a person to any of you. And you've shown that by coming onto my channel for all these years and never once helping to turn this shit in with me. Never once coordinating with me to turn it in. No matter what, it's always some fucking head game where you're not willing to communicate effectively or listen. Your idea of listening is to talk over me. Lots of women said, oh, Sean, if you need to talk, well, I try talking. All you do is talk over me. If I say something, you're going to go out of your way to be as contrary as you can possibly be. And this is what we've taught people to do to men. Oh, just everything that he says, just be contrary. Go fuck yourselves, you stupid pieces of shit.